everybody. Welcome back to Slanted and Decanted, a podcast about 9/11.
Yeah, that's right.
A wine podcast. Nope, a podcast not about wine. About wine some of the time.
Yeah.
I'm Cara.
The only wine podcast that isn't about wine.
I'm Cara Patricia.
I'm Parker Story.
What's up, dude?
I'm hanging out. I just left an event here in the Soma district. I was looking at a bunch of naked people for about 5 hours. It was a live drawing class that I was pouring wine for. I was hanging out with Chef Eder from Provecho, good friend of the pod and a good guy. We were just pouring up and slinging food to some people in the SF art community. It was a lot of fun.
Why were there naked people? Why were there so many naked people?
They were all being drawn by the people wearing clothes.
Live figure drawing.
Yes, yeah.
Live.
And it was a really fun event actually. It made a lot of sense. You think about one of the organizers was telling me that one of the worst things about going to like art classes is that you can't get a snack or have a drink or listen to any music. So they had a really great DJ and a string quartet. And a bunch of really good food and really good wine that I curated. So it was a great time. Yeah.
Was it raising money for anything in particular, or was it just like for the drawers and everything? Painters?
There's an artist community over on 9th Street that it was raising money for, but Sketchboard, the artist collective that my friend Natalie runs, was hosting the event there in their benefit and also for just the general benefit of people who like art and drinking wine and eating food.
That's dope.
It was a lot of fun. That was the bottom third of my weekend. And
the bottom third. Oh yeah, it's Sunday.
Yeah, top
it's
third.
Sunday. We're recording on Sundays.
Yeah, it is Sunday. Top third was, Friday. I wasn't at the shop.
That's right, yeah.
I had a little small event that day too that was pretty wham bam. And then I had dinner at Sons and Daughters.
Ooh.
And that was cool.
Who do you have dinner with at Sons and Daughters?
Guess.
Your wife?
No.
Oh.
Close.
I don't know.
Dr. Alexis. It was awesome.
Yes.
It was a lot of fun.
Alexi.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So
he's the best. He's one of our regulars here at Decant, and he is dope and he's amazing. I love him.
He'd been bugging me. He wanted to talk my ear off and get drunk. We drank some 2013 Claude David.
Ooh.
19 Ganavat.
From Lambert.
Yeah.
Ganavat. Nice.
Had a good time.
Yeah.
The chef over there is pretty skilled.
Yeah. I've been wanting to go back there. I haven't been there in like.
It was a good time.
God, probably 5 years.
1 Michelin star. I allowed them to keep it, and here we are.
Nobody knows this, and we're not supposed to say anything about it, but Parker Story is an undercover Michelin inspector.
Right. Michelin General, actually, they made
just
a new
tires.
Yeah, they made a new.
He just goes there and he like smashes on tires and sees if it's not actually at the restaurant. It's at all the cars parked in front of the restaurant.
There are lots of auto shops over there on that little stretch.
I don't know if I've ever seen a Michelin tire. I feel like Goodyear is really everywhere. Is there other tires? I mean, those are the only 2 tires I think I know.
Goodyear, Michelin, Firestone.
Oh yeah, Firestone. Yeah,
I think
Schwinn.
Mac Dre said Dayton's. He said "fuck Michelin tires" actually in a song, so I just never got
Dayton's.
Yeah,
that's a type of tire.
Yeah,
maybe they hold rims better.
Probably. I imagine it's a big rim style tire, given Mac Dre's other proclivities.
Because Michelin is probably just like, no, we don't do that. If it doesn't fit on a Peugeot, I don't care. Okay, that's dope. That's great.
It was a good weekend. Saturday I mainly rolled around. What were you doing this weekend?
This weekend I worked the whole time, just slang wine. But last weekend I was in Palm Springs.
Oh, true.
The best place on earth.
But it looked like you had a good time in Palm Springs.
Was amazing. You haven't been down to Palm Springs yet, have you? Mm-mm. Joshua Tree and stuff. So I feel like Palm Springs pre-pandemic was like, maybe it was like a whisper of it what it had been, in a sense. Like there wasn't a ton of, there were some good solid restaurants and like bars, but there wasn't like a really good like wine culture, I
Right.
thought, as much. Like we would go to like a deli, like a decent deli to buy decent wine, or you'd have to like go to the grocery store kind of, or like a liquor store in a sense. And then I think it's like post-pandemic. Now it's like I went to a wine speakeasy
Okay.
that was in the Parker Hotel.
Right on.
It's like this beautiful like hidden resort in like the real Tony part of Palm Springs. And it's like you go through the lobby, past like another small bar, another restaurant, a beautiful lounge. It kind of looked like The Shining. It was gorgeous, like a pop art Shining. And then you walk through this like secret garden, these beautiful gardens, and you find like these little statues of lions. You like turn left, and it's this tiny like 12-seat bar, maybe a couple of little tables, and it felt like you were kind of in the basement of like a rectory of like a Catholic church.
Nice.
And it was just wine, and it was really like everything on there I wanted to drink. Like Sarah had a Menthea, and she was like, oh, I forgot how much I like red wine.
And I gotta say, even as someone who's avoided the basement of Catholic churches for most of his life, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, there's like a confession booth like in there too, and it was very beautiful and pretty, and that wasn't around for a long time before that.
Right.
And then there was another place I didn't go into, but it's called Hyphen, and it said it has like California's largest rosé collection.
That's wild, and also that's a cool name.
Yeah, there's another Palm Springs Wine Company. Is this teeny tiny wine shop in the back of the Mojave Trading Company or Mojave Trading Post like store. That's a bunch of different like designers and like local craft producers and things like that. Lots of really nice clothes. You know, not a cheap place.
Oh, I get you. So like a mercantile situation,
a bunch of different like
wine in the back.
Different place. Yeah, wine in the back, and it was all wine made by women, queer, BIPOC. And they had little stickers on each to say like what its identity was, because it was actually kind of about like wine by identity, which was interesting to see it. So like that's all we do, and like here's a sticker. So it was like, it was interesting. It was cool. I mean, they had really good wines. They had a lot of wines that we carry here, but it was a very small little collection, and I was very impressed that that was in Palm Springs.
Right on.
Yeah, it's great. I think it has ownership interest is with Casements, the bar and the Mission. I think they're the same.
Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Dope place.
I think I saw on Instagram, didn't you end up at the Trixie Motel too?
I did end up at the Trixie Motel.
Pretty fucking cool.
It was
that looked awesome.
It was actually really better. Like it was better than I had thought it would be. Because one, it's fucking expensive.
Right.
No joke. Like I was like we left the Parker Hotel, and I was looking up immediately, like, how much does it cost to stay here? And this place is like incredible. Like, I want to have a wedding here. I want to live here. It's beautiful. And it was like the same price as the Trixie Motel, which is like a 10-room motel with like a little pool. But it was fantastic. The room was great. And I had a great time.
It looked extremely vibey. And
it was extremely vibey.
Maybe this is just coordination by your very astute partner, but it looked like everybody's outfits matched the hotel.
Was
that an accident?
That was an accident.
That's so sick, because I saw a post where you said that Adam surprised you with the room.
He did.
And then when I saw everyone's outfits, I was like, did Adam start a group chat and tell everyone what to wear?
Because the whole trip was a surprise.
Yeah.
I thought
it looked nice.
I was like freaking out, and Sarah and my cousin Catherine, and you probably even heard me be like, he's taking me on this surprise vacation. He won't tell me anything about it. Yeah. And I was like having a lot of control issues, because I am very much like, when I take a vacation, I'm like, it's just like I have a shared spreadsheet with like it's just a whole thing. I'm very like annoying, but also prepared when I travel. And so I was freaking out, and then finally I got him to tell me we were at least going to Palm Springs. And then I like relaxed. I was like, okay, I know what to pack and whatever. And I completely just like bitched the whole way that we were driving there, because
no way.
5.5 hours. I drove from San Francisco to Lompoc, where he's living right now. Mm-hmm. And then the next morning from Lompoc to Palm Springs. And it took so long. And I was so annoyed the whole time. And then we pull up to this house, this cool house in Palm Springs. And there's like a Jeep Wrangler in the driveway. And I'm like, why is there a Jeep in the thing? He's like, I think the people live here at the Airbnb. And I was like, was like, are they staying here with us? He was like, no, like we have the place. And I was like, okay. And then
Mhm.
like we open the door and the first thing I see is this dumb Shiba Inu like hobbling towards me.
Wait, it was something wrong with the dog?
And I was like, well, yeah. And I was like, Shiba. And I was like, Junchan? And because like she has a, Sarah has a Junchan, a Shiba Inu.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's my dog. I was
Right
there.
on. Understood.
And then it's like all of a sudden Sarah comes out in her underwear and like, I was like, what are you doing here? And then I was afraid that he was going to like do some weird like surprise proposal thing. So I was like, why is my cousin, and my cousin was there too.
Oh.
And I was like, why is my cousin and my best friend here
I would have been
on
afraid
our
it was
anniversary
Yeah.
thing? And so immediately I was like, oh no, this is going to be some sort of proposal. But we had a fun time. He was like, no, you haven't had a girls' weekend this year.
Uh-huh.
So I wanted you to be able to have some of that because I know that you won't be able to take another vacation until January. And that's sweet.
That's very, very cool.
Yeah. And
Nice.
then I proposed to him. So he
You
said,
did?
Yeah. I mean, like really easily. Just like in the pool.
Casual.
It was like after we were on our own then at the Trixie Motel. And I was like, I was worried that you were going to like do a surprise proposal to me. He was like, oh no. He's like, I wouldn't do that to you like this, like in front of people. And I was like, okay, good. I was like, well, like I would say yes. We've talked about this. I know. I was like, well, do you
Right.
like, I was like, well, like, will you marry me? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, for real? Like, I was like, are you being real? I'm like, yeah. I was like, yeah. So then we were like, okay.
Wow, nice.
It was cute. Easy.
Yeah. I had a easy proposal too. I feel that.
Yeah, good. I think that's good. I don't
I
like the
think
whole
it's-
stories in
yeah.
the restaurants and the hiding a ring and a cake thing.
I mean, like walking around somewhere and there's like some couple who's like implicated like 50 people and
That
like
I feel
a
that's
situation.
toxic. I feel like that's entrapment.
yeah, it's crazy. Or like a basketball arena. It's like,
Yeah, entrapment.
it's
It's like you
wild.
have to say yes, and
Yeah.
that's toxic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's toxic love.
It's good to be back on the mic and with some wine that feels kind of like work. Let's be honest.
No, we're not blinding it. It's just it's really pretty. It is like a beautiful light, cherry color with a moderate core. It fades out to like a nice little pinkish cherry rim. It's translucent. It's gorgeous. It's clear. It's pretty.
It
It's
does smell
bright.
good. It smells very well made. Pinot Noir.
Yeah, it's definitely has to be. It's 100%.
It's definitely Pinot Noir.
light,
And
it's
that's
bright.
great.
And it's probably from
Yeah.
Sonoma or Oregon.
Right, yeah, it's a little.
It's gorgeous.
So-
Okay.
yeah,
Anyway,
but
we'll
it's
figure
great.
it out at the end of it.
It's beautiful.
Okay, so I had an idea that maybe one thing that would be kind of fun to do is talk, because I feel like we're going to have some guests, and some of these guests are going to know a couple of 2-3 things about wine, right?
Right.
So I think it would be nice to kind of have someone on here that is around wine, drinks wine, but hates anybody talking about wine, hates to order wine, hates to buy things, doesn't want to think about anything, just makes me buy it for her. And so we are going to invite Sarah Rodriguez, our beautiful, talented artist and producer of this pod, to talk a little bit about wine with us.
Yeah. I don't know why you would want someone who doesn't like ordering wine, they're talking about wine, to give their opinion. But I'm also not sure why I'm producing this when I am not. I think that's actually better, right? That's the point.
That's kind of the MO. We were like, let's find somebody who doesn't know how to produce a podcast to produce this podcast.
Exactly.
The wine thing too is, I'll say this, in my view, it can be really exciting to talk about people, to talk to people who don't know anything about wine, like say, like if they're, eager and gregarious custies. It can also be mortifying. There's a huge collection of like very accessible like buzzwords and catchphrases that people will use to kind of navigate wine conversations that you hear over and over again.
Okay, take a sip of this wine that
Right.
you picked for us. So you know what it is. Do you remember what it is?
Not really.
Do you remember what the grape is?
Yeah.
Is it a Pinot Noir? Because that's what we thought.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
Okay, so tell me, just in general, anything you know about Pinot Noir. Just anything. Like if you're like, anything. Just tell me anything.
I know that it's tasty.
Yeah,
and that
okay.
I like it.
Good.
And that it's like, quote unquote, easy to drink.
Mhm.
Okay.
I just feel like it's delicious.
I love that. That's great. What do you like about it? You said it's easy to drink. What makes it easy to drink for you?
It's just like consistently good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But then when you get a real good one, you're like, oh, okay, I get it.
Yeah, for sure.
I like
All
that.
Pinot Noirs are good. But
I
you,
mean,
Would you guys agree? Is that true?
I don't think all Pinot Noirs are good, but I think Pinot Noir
Yeah,
has a
those are
higher success rate of being decent than lots of red wines. But you can have really bad showings. I
but
think.
you have had the experience of being rizzed up by a particularly good Pinot Noir. That's what you're saying.
Well, I feel like
you've danced with the devil.
I mean, I don't know. Have I, Cara? You would know.
Yeah, you've
I mean,
drank
we
some.
drank some in France.
Some baller.
Oh yeah, we went to Burgundy together in
Right.
2010.
Nice.
I feel like that's when I really learned. Well, that's when I learned that Pinot Noir was like in Champagne and stuff.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
And then I was
Champagne,
like-
went to Burgundy. We went
Okay, it's a good grape.
went to Lyon, drank a lot of Gamay as well.
Nice.
When
Yeah,
you're
that's
at
crazy.
a restaurant, right, and say like the sommelier or whoever, you want to order some wine with your friends. You're not with me. You have to choose the wine yourself, and your phone is dead as usual, so you can't even take a picture of the wine list and send it to me. Okay?
You're a dead phone person?
Oh yeah.
Damn.
I charged her phone
I like
throughout.
to ride on the edge.
Oh my god, we got here. First of all, we were at dinner, and I looked at her phone, and she had 15%. She didn't even have low power mode on.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Okay,
Who
and
cares?
and then when we got here, I plugged her phone in.
Right.
When we were in Palm Springs, I just kept plugging her phone in for her.
It's crazy to be a dead phone person who doesn't drink that much. That's just wild.
She's always been like that, like
brain
14 years
chemistry.
old.
That's nice.
It never dies though. That's the thing. I can ride on 1%
Ah.
for like days.
Okay,
Yeah.
whatever. Okay, so listen, wine. Okay, so you're at a restaurant. I'm not there.
Okay.
You can't take a picture of it. Can't send it to me. How do you tell the sommelier or the server or the captain what you want?
I will. Can I be honest?
Yeah, 100%.
This is my nightmare.
Uh-huh.
You want to know why?
What?
Because I feel that I'm not getting genuine recommendations most of
Really?
the time. Yes.
Really? Why?
Is like if there's a server or whatever, and they're like, I'm looking at the wine list, and they're like, what do you want? And I like say something stupid like, oh, I want something like earthy. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's so
Like,
hard for you even to say that.
well, I'm just saying, like, so
That's
let's say I
fine.
pull out one of those stupid
It's
words.
not stupid.
Well, whatever. You know what I'm getting at.
Is
Or
it?
like, I'm
No.
like, oh, I want something like dry, or whatever. They just kind of like, they're not always, but I feel like they're rolling their eyes and they're like, they don't care. So here's what I would like. Can I just say, here's what I would like.
Yes. Okay. What would you like?
I don't want to have to like stumble. See how I'm stumbling around words, just trying to think of like descriptors?
Yeah.
Because,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Totally.
it's not normal to do that.
Okay.
What I would like is them to tell me, which is what I like with you. Like, okay, say I'm ordering food.
Yeah.
I want them to be like, oh, you're ordering food? Hey, if you want a glass of wine, this would go really well with your food because of this. I don't want to have to like hunt around and figure out what I want. I want someone to just tell me what's good and why.
I
And
get
then
that.
I make the decision based on what they're saying,
Yes.
if I want that or not. Because
Yes.
I don't want to have to try to fumble around with words. I would prefer them to fumble around with the words and me
Yeah.
to be like, yes or no.
That is actually perfect. I
think-
love that.
I get that. I think it's a valid request, and I also know that people like to be psychos and play mind games on the floor with their guests.
See?
You know,
So it's not just me.
People do it. I do it.
What?
See?
It's funny.
Okay. No.
And listen,
Mm-hmm.
to what I'm going to do, the goal and the trajectory and the objective, which is achieved with 99.9% accuracy, is you getting the perfect wine for you. But it is funny to be like, huh, I have to talk to this person because I'm at work. I'm going to make it interesting.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I disagree. I want to find out. I want some information from you as the guest of like, what do you like?
Right.
Wait, but why can't you just?
That's part of it.
Well, no, that is part of it. But it's like,
It's a
for
fact-finding
example,
mission.
It's deductive,
Like
right?
the guys who found all those fake weapons of mass destruction in Iraq.
Here we go.
That's what I'm doing.
Here
Every
we
time
go.
I'm on the floor, I'm basically one of those guys.
And then you're coming back with a lie and you're
Yes.
selling a war that doesn't exist. Great.
Yeah, like I did to Dan Yoder with that Burgundy. Fact-finding mission.
He's the best.
Yeah, it was great.
And I undersold him, and then you yelled at me for underselling him.
And
then
clearly he wants to buy us an insane bottle of Burgundy right now.
you know, I have a hard thing where I'm like, I don't want to. I feel bad making people spend money. Okay, but this is part of the reason why, because I want people to trust me, right? So I like to know a little bit. So maybe if like at a restaurant or even here when people come into the shop at Decant and they're like, I'm cooking brisket tonight, I'll be like, great. Like, do you want a red wine or a white wine, rosé or bubbles? Okay, first just to help them narrow it down of what they want, right? They're coming in with some sort of expectation. Okay, I want a red wine. Excellent. What are you cooking the brisket with? What are the sides? Because I am thinking about what you're eating. And then it's like, okay, let's go through. I'm going to go through with you and find 3 or 4 wines on the shelf. I'm also going to say, what's your price range? What's your budget? You don't do this?
No, it's fine. I was visualizing you saying to a person, I'm thinking about what you're eating. Which is it just had me laughing. I'm sorry.
Well, I don't say that, but like that's the thing. It's like I'm trying to pair it.
You
for
do
'em.
say that.
Of course,
because it
no, yeah. You
matters.
say it in not so
Yeah.
many words or maybe more words, and
No,
it does
I
matter.
just get
Yeah.
like what is size, how
Yeah,
you get
yeah.
it, whatever. And you know, you're just trying to help someone bet on a horse. I know what the horse has been eating. I know the rest it's getting. I know how many
Right.
you know finish lines it's crossed. I'm trying to help you
Yes.
get that good information. So that's what I do. I go through the fact finding mission. I like to find it. I ask the budget. Always make sure you ask the
Right,
budget.
of course.
When I go out to eat, I tell the
That's number
sommelier.
2.
I'll oftentimes tell the sommelier, like, I want nothing over $95. I want it to be white, and I want it to go with at least like 3 of the things that are coming to the table. And they go do that.
Right.
They give me 2 options, and I pick which one I want. That's perfect. That's kind of what you should just ask them. Be like, I just want somebody to go with this.
Parameters are super important, and that's how I ended up drinking 2 of the great bottles of wine at Sons and Daughters the other night, and I did that exact thing. But yeah, I still like trolling people when I'm selling wine. It's fun.
Well, when people come in, they say they're going to get a gift for someone. I'm like, well, what do you know about them?
I always go, well, do you like them or do you have to get them?
I know that's a great question.
Yeah, you know. It's
And you know, like who's
do
it
you want to get them
for?
something?
Is it for your boss? Is it for your dad?
Yeah,
Is
yeah,
it
yeah.
for like you're going to a housewarming of someone that you don't
Are
care
you
about?
sorry about something?
Completely, because that definitely changes it.
Yeah.
And then with that, what's your price range? Like if it's a special occasion, you're doing up to 100 or whatever, and people will be like, it's amazing how people are like, you know, under 75, under 100, under 200.
Right,
And it's like,
yeah.
great. Well, that opens up the whole fucking place. I might show you a $36 bottle that's fire.
Yeah.
And I might also show you a $116 bottle that's amazing. But I'm giving you those options.
Yeah.
But I do ask, like, are they outdoorsy? I like to ask just questions like that sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, are they adventurous? Do they like to go out to eat? Do they cook? Because lots of people come in and say, I don't know anything about wine. But they know a lot more than they think they do.
Yeah, people just don't like to feel like they don't know what they're talking about.
There are many healthy inferences you can make just on like ambient knowledge you get from having been a person who drinks wine for a handful of years, or, you know, eating at restaurants, or talking to annoying people who work in wine. Sarah, if you crave wine ever, what is it? Like, have you ever like needed to scratch an itch? Since it's not something that you think about or like super care about.
Yeah.
If it does occur to you like, hey, I would really like some wine, what is that wine?
Like if I want to like just have a little something, like I usually will have something super light, like because I'm not that like, I'm like, oh, I'll just have a little taste with whatever. But if I want to like sit and like drink a bottle, that's like different. I'll choose something different.
What?
And I would choose maybe something like a red and like a Pinot Noir, but like a good one.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I get you.
Yeah, Sarah's not a cheap wine drinker. If she's gonna drink wine, she wants it to be like really good. Like if I just pour her a little rosé, she's like, eh.
Yeah, I'm kind of like, whatever, it's fine. It's not amazing.
Yeah,
But I'll drink it and it's tasty.
But sometimes she'll get a glass of something. She's like, oh, this is what I'm talking about.
Yeah, and then it's usually a red wine or like a really rich like white.
Yeah. We love rich whites here in San Francisco.
Whoa, whoa.
There is lots more to talk about.
Okay.
Sarah, it's great to have your insight on what it's like to be a wine novice or a custody.
Yeah, thanks.
And it's cool that you have so deftly ignored the things that Cara says
I was taught you over the years.
about wine. I think that shows that some real fortitude in your relationship.
She's extremely stubborn.
Yeah.
That's right.
She loves Gruner Veltliner though.
Nice.
That is true. And she loves really nice Chardonnay. As we all do.
Seems like you have good taste.
Gavin Newsom was asked about his favorite wines or something, like his treasure wines.
I can't
And one of the So Gavin was asked, what prize bottle of wine do you have set aside for an extra special occasion? And he literally said first that it was like Robert Mondavi Coastal Chardonnay, right? $10 bottle, whatever, right?
Nice. Yeah.
And then he said, quote, that's my political answer.
Right.
And I want to go on record with that being my political answer.
Nice.
And then he said, this is where your political consultants, I think there might be one or two here, this is where they're not going to like my answer.
Right.
He said his favorite bottle that is set aside for a special occasion is a bottle of 1947 Cheval Blanc that is currently estimated value is $21,000 a bottle.
Wow.
And so my question is, drink it or dump it, that being his favorite wine, and also pretending he's a man of the people.
You know what? I have a lot of mixed feelings about Gruesome Gavin. I like that he was upfront about his fake proletariat wine answer, even though he did mention a Mondavi label. There's no room in this segment to talk shit on Cheval Blanc at all. But I'm saying, dump it, dude. I think it's the type of label drop you do when you are kind of in and around wine to the degree that guy is. He doesn't look like a real grinder. He doesn't stay up late drinking wines like I do. I think he's on the sidelines. I don't like that weird smile he has. That's just like the I just had sex smile all the time. Like that's so fucked.
He probably did.
I'm not into it. Yeah, the Mondavi swill. That's a cool joke for the type of people who would be in that crowd. But
exactly.
Yeah, when he mentioned the Cheval Blanc, that is when I lowered my rifle and left the venue.
Oh my god. I mean, yeah, you're right.
I don't know if that can go on YouTube. But
it makes sense that it makes sense that Gavin Newsom would have something. He did to his credit say that he bought it about 20 years ago when it was, much less expensive. I mean, 20 years ago was still 2003.
Yeah.
And so maybe it wasn't worth $21,000. Maybe it was worth like $18,000, $16,000. I think it's interesting. I'm glad
I fucking hate that guy.
Hey,
ironically, of course.
If he started, see, the thing is, what we need is, who invested in his first everything. 10 out of 11 of his first businesses was a Getty. There was some money in the investment. That's why I was able to grow, etc. And one of the big things that he did when he became a supervisor was he talked about how backwards and inefficient the planning department and the codes are, because when he opened Plumpjack, they told him that he had to get a hand wash sink because wine counted as food,
right?
And he had to have a sink and a mop sink even though it was a carpeted wine shop.
Huh.
And so he
Carpet, Gavin? What?
it was 1990. It was 1992. Everything had carpet. The dentist had carpet. You know, the people's bathrooms had carpet.
True.
But and one of the things he did do, which I thought was very interesting and got my wheels turning, was when he was supervisor. He was like, "This is the sort of like bullshit that we got to get rid of because none of it makes sense."
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, rich people love deregulating things.
Well, also, like, he was like a store owner. And I could tell you right now, there's a lot of things if I became a supervisor that I would change about the bureaucracy and the red tape there is just to have a fucking wine shop. That being said, I could also be governor one day if I can find a Getty or someone like it to just invest in my dreams. So you're dumping him in a Cheval Blanc.
I'm dumping it. I don't like the cheeky stuff. Gavin, if you were going to talk about some Blanc, like some real fucking farmer wine that's, cheap as hell and would have some sort of like symbolic meaning, there are many things that don't have the name Mondavi on them that you could have name dropped. Even out of the Golden State.
Do you think Gavin Newsom has ever had a pet nap?
Yeah, because I think he hangs out with 23-year-old girls all the time. Let's go.
Okay. I love that. I love it. However, I do think that it's very difficult to like have that sort of wealth where you have a $21,000 bottle like hanging out and like still act like you know anything about anyone that's actually lives in your state.
Yeah.
Other than all of the people who donate to your campaigns. That's all.
Yeah, that would have been drink at my house, no matter what. It's like,
also, 1947 is like, what other special occasion? He thinks he's going to become president. That's what he's waiting for. Just to watch. Okay. All right, drink it or dump it.
Let's hear it.
This is coming from Canada. A group sues a luxury fishing tour company for apparent lack of fine wine.
A lawsuit?
Yeah.
Because the wine list sucked?
Yeah, the wine list
Love
sucked.
it.
So
let's go. Who are these people? I back them. Does it have a GoFundMe?
A group that booked a luxury
fishing
fishing tour in Vancouver, British Columbia
Nice.
was disappointed by their experience and sued the company it hired for the occasion.
Okay.
4 people filed separate claims.
Respect.
Each person spent well over $5,000 each booking the experience, and all their allegations were the same.
Mm-hmm.
So, the website of the booking for what was promised to them was accommodations, 5-star meals prepped by a professional chef, which included sea-to-table meals with Dungeness crab and wild salmon, premium wines, decadent desserts, everything that you need for fishing, etc., etc. So what they found out was there was not a professional chef on board. The owner of the company was cooking for them. And instead of fine wines, it was boxed wine served in decanters.
Word.
So they sued for this. The tribunal found that the company breached the agreement by failing to provide the guides and some other things to the guests.
No way.
And the professional chef and the 5-star cuisine was also something that was breached. But they were not sure about the premium wines being fine or not, whether they're boxed or not. Because I think the definition for premium wine, probably, maybe this is in it, is literally like anything over $14.
That's what's up, dude.
So they all got $1,000
nice.
each as a settlement instead of the $5,000 back, most likely for the food part of it.
Mm-hmm.
The wine thing, they weren't quite sure about if it counted as premium. Boxed wine in decanters.
Yeah.
Drink it or dump it. They sued for not getting good enough wine.
I'm drinking and dumping. Yeah. Here's what. This is a class issue. Because
100%.
these people who are spending $5,000 to go out to see, like, I understand it's a large chunk of change. Not something I want to do or could probably do right now, especially not with a gang of friends. But, let's have some perspective here. A lot of really, really bad things have happened to wealthy people when they get on sea vessels recently. And getting some boxed wine and some salmon and some questionable salmon is probably the best deal, based on like other recent wealthy people going into the ocean. So thank your lucky stars, count your blessings, drink your plump jack, and honestly, that's the part that I'm dumping. Like, I don't like the lawsuit. I'm kind of drinking that they brought the lawsuit, though. Speak up for yourself. If you see something, say something. If you see somebody pouring wine out of a box, like, you say something to someone.
Now that is the most egregious part to me. Slanted decanters, because I feel like if you're going on a fishing expedition, the wines probably aren't going to be like amazing. Like even in first class, the wines aren't that good. Business class wines aren't that good all the time.
Yeah.
Whatever. I don't like Cathay Pacific, but whatever.
Yeah.
But I feel like your expectations for like quote unquote premium wine has to be lowered, because premium has the definition is literally like the price point.
It's one of my least favorite words used to describe anything.
I know.
It has to do with like the type of gas I have to put in my car, but also the fact that you're right.
It's a premium in your car.
Yeah, it's like.
Wait, what's 87? Is that just regular unleaded?
I believe
just regular premium, and then what?
I think, like super unleaded or Supreme, depending on where you're going. This is like 92. They should put the actual Supreme logo.
Yeah, just change it. Everybody would push it.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
They'd be like, I'm absolutely just paying way more.
I'm burning Supreme fossil fuels. Dude, yeah, that's cool. I'm burning Vetements, Raph Simmons fossil fuels right now. I don't know what your car uses, but this shit costs $10,000. This has all to do with the wine person thing in general. At a certain point, there is kind of like that meme of the fork in the road with like the bright shining castle and like the dark gloomy castle, but it's like becoming obsessed with like fancy things in general, or just like understanding the quality of things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I see a lot of wine bros who love premium wines who only ever post bottles in their left hand because their watches are on that hand, right? Like premium guys, like, premium products.
Hashtag
luxury
luxury lifestyle.
Yeah, which,
Hashtag Lux life.
I do ironically because I'm always bragging about my 2004 Acura.
Wow, that's a lovely step up.
It's a cool car. It's very cool.
That's dope.
And it cost me next to nothing, which is the best part about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's in perfect condition. It's like a Nas style automobile, which I think is great.
I love it so much.
Yeah.
Leather seats?
Yes.
Ugh.
They are leather. It's a great car.
I love being in the side.
Seat warmers, it has pre-programmed like positions in the chair, so you just have to push a button and it
some of my best memories are being in the passenger seat of an Acura, slid down in those leather seats, like smoking a joint while driving. It's like with
great.
Tinted windows,
I'm
cracked.
driving a couch.
Oh, I love it.
You know what I mean? It's very dope.
Instead, I'm like, I'm going to get a compact.
But, those new cars, they make your seats all action-oriented, so you're always
so you're
engaged,
alert.
Yeah,
you're right. I want a lazy boy. Just slide back.
Yeah.
So you can't even see me from the window.
We used to be a proper country.
Yeah, that's true. We used to have more. Let's make America Acura again. Well, okay. Dumping it. Killing it.
I will say, to wrap up the swindling of the Canucks, I do want to meet the owner of the business. I want to know what he's cooking up. It's hilarious to call yourself a chef and just not be one.
I feel like recent restaurants in Oakland closed because partially with that.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It'd be crazy to do something like that on the ocean.
That would be crazy to be like, oh, we're a Michelin star chef. And it's like, oh, you were a back waiter at a Michelin star restaurant that you got fired from.
Yeah.
That'd be crazy. Yeah.
On the ocean.
On the ocean.
But yeah,
international waters.
That guy
baby.
sounds
anything goes.
Kind of dope. Like, maybe it's funny that, he had that grift going on. It's very funny to do that grift and at a boat, which is just, it's really hard to drive one.
Who knows? Maybe it was like boxed Chassagne Montrachet,
Yeah, he might have the plug.
Things are changing. Maybe it was just like super like green, like 3 liters. Chassagne Montrachet is actually like a $300 box of wine. Like, who knows?
We should, and if so, we should help him countersue. It's great to have a wine-related episode. Cara, thank you again for keeping us on track there. We were able to... we were able to, taste some blind wine this time, kind of blind. I think, we have the varietal and general hemisphere pulled off from the first sniff, but that's totally fine. The wine was delicious. Yeah, of course.
Okay, so I just keep pouring it because it is really tasty.
Yeah, it was a
posting
little
for yourself.
hot to me at first, and now it's become very plush and really, really approachable. It's got a great color to it.
Definitely has a little bit of. I don't think it has elevated alcohol. I still think it's probably about 13.5 at most. At most, I think it's because the fruit is so delicate that little like it comes through like the mid palate isn't as heavy as like kind of that alcohol feels at the end.
Yeah,
but the
it
fruit
almost
is very ripe.
Yeah,
and it is really delicious, and I can't stop drinking it. And I definitely think it's New World. I definitely think it's. I want to definitely say it's Sonoma.
but I think that it's from the Russian River.
Yeah, it's nervy, and it definitely has like a piquant like feel from the acid. A little
bit darker, I would say it is for sure from the Russian River, but it's maybe it's the ring lights. It's pretty garnet, pretty shiny. It's delicious.
There's a little like licorice element.
See what it looks like?
I want to see what it is. Yeah. It's all dark cherries, a little bit of tea.
You mentioned earlier that
I don't want to look.
You had like
I hate this goddamn sock monkey. Oh, Santa Cruz Mountains, Tessier.
Okay.
This is actually the second Tessier bottle I've had this week. I had a Syrah, 2021 Syrah. Mm-hmm. Somebody opened it on Tuesday or Wednesday night or something like that. This one, I have to say, we did the class with her in May, April, March, in the springish. Yeah. The wines were definitely much more in their, like they weren't as like relaxed as these are right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
This has definitely changed into something a little bit more comfortable.
Yeah.
Because I do remember them, my remarks, I think after the tasting, I was like, well, they're natty, but they're also very clinical. I was getting both of those things. Where it's like, this tastes very much like, identifiably nothing but fermented grape juice, but also really, really precise. Maybe, given her pristine acumen for,
Yeah. I mean, she does make these wines completely supernatural. I think she's a tiny bit of sulfur at bottling or something like that.
She said sulfur when needed. Yeah. She said she'll leave it off if she can.
Yeah.
High acid. It's balanced. And it definitely, that's crazy because I was like, it's from the Russian River, because I was like, there's angles and like, tension. It's like, it's ripped, you know what I mean? Not muscular. So.
Lean.
Lean.
Like Bruce Lee. Lean like Bruce Lee.
Or Gavin Newsom.
I honestly, and I'm gonna sound like a little bleeding heart Clintonista.
Nice.
I would like to see Gavin Newsom with the shirt off. I would be mad at that. Like, I think he could do like Hunky Jesus at Easter in Dolores Park, and maybe like people would be like, "Yes, Hunky Jesus, old silver fox guy. He's kind of hot." You know what I don't like is his voice and the way he talks.
Oh yeah, the like I'm about to laugh all the time.
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe you just look at him like he's
cringe.
He's a smarmy. I mean, he is a smarmy guy.
Yeah, I mean, he is like. I've been at war with guys like Gavin Newsom for my whole life.
On Twitter or like in the streets.
In real life, in the streets, on Twitter, on forums.
Unfortunately.
In the ether, like
Stormfront.
Like inside my mind palace where I train. You know what I mean?
It's like the Dune training where you're like in your Dune suit.
Right. When I go to sleep, I enter a dojo and I fight. Like a dream generated Gavin Newsom.
I get it.
And I'm winning.
Yeah.
And I have been for years.
He does seem like this is the first stage of what Mr. Burns turned into.
Yeah.
Just kind of like fingers up, steeple fingers, and
my thing about him,
but I don't think he's as
delicious Tessier wine soon. But is that like there's just no possible way that he's what's next is good.
He's gonna try to be present.
Like, convince me that the next thing he does is gonna be good.
But honestly, I do think even though he is like a multimillionaire, just like draped in wealth, governor of California, used to be the mayor, et cetera, fourth generation San Franciscan, dad was like an accountant or lawyer, blah, 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 blah. I do think that there can be way worse presidents under 75. You know what I mean? Way less nominees. He's like, However, he did pay the Republican Party $500 when he was running for supervisor to put him on like the slate of endorsees.
Oh, nice.
Which,
That's slimy.
Well, it also just shows like the Republican Party didn't care. He ran
Not at all. No.
I think he ran uncontested or something.
Look, I don't know what 2024 is going to look like because, frankly, everybody's been really quiet about it. What with Joe being in the shape that he is, and also Trump being basically in prison. If they're going to let him run his campaign, like doing it from jail would be a lot funnier than doing it from Mar-a-Lago. And I think that they'll probably just lock him up there. But what I will say that is, if Trump gets canned and we get Vivek, I would love to see him and Gavin go at it because they have so it'll be like an East Meets West of like rich shitty guys. Like,
that would actually be
because
great.
Vivek is like Indian Gavin and vice versa.
Well, Vivek is fucking like Silicon Valley. I am the product of everything that you made happen.
Well, yeah, I guess you're right. That's
Vivek is like Bane.
This is cool. Yeah.
And Gavin is Batman, where he's fighting for the rich but pretending it's for the people.
I love this. Yeah,
and Vivek was born in the darkness that
Hey,
Gavin
Sarah,
put on.
when you get home, could you make a Vivek and a Bane mask type image macro for me?
You can search on like Parlor and you'll search Discord and you'll find that.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that's already been made. I mean, I don't think there's that many people. You'll find like 100 of them with Trump.
If you're a Vivek Groiper, hit me up. I want to see what kind of images you've made.
You gooning for Vivek?
The wine's great. Christy, thank you so much.
Yeah, this wine is great. It's in a great place right now.
Yeah.
The wine has hit.
That's right. I think that does it.
Okay. Well, bye.
Thanks for joining us again for another episode of Slanted and Decanted.
Oh, yeah.
The only wine podcast that Cara and I produce with Sarah. My name's London Breed.
Oh. And I'm Brooke Jenkins. And this has been San Francisco is a Death Spiral.
That's right. Oh, we didn't talk about any of that shit. Good.
Which one of us is slanted? Which one of us is decanted?
I don't.
How about today? Which one of us was slanted?
Today I'm feeling decanted, and probably because I had so much wine at the event.
You're feeling decanted? That's great. I'm feeling a little slanted.
Thank you, Sarah. Sticking it out.